Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are tackling one of the biggest, most popular supplements in the entire world, omega-3s. We're going to cut through all the noise, all the confusion, and get straight to what the science actually says.
But let's just ask the big question right up front. Is all the hype around fish oil for real, or have we all just bought into a really convincing fish story? Let's find out.
Okay, so to get to the truth, we have to start with the single most important piece of the puzzle, where your omega-3s are coming from. Because as you're about to see, not all of them are created equal, not even close.
The key word you're going to hear over and over is essential. And look, that's not just some marketing buzzword. It literally means your body cannot make these fats on its own. You have to get them from your diet. They are absolutely non-negotiable for good health.
So, this is the first crucial split we need to understand. You've got two main teams. In one corner, you have ALA, which comes from plant sources like flaxseed, chia seeds, and walnuts. And in the other corner, you've got EPA and DHA, which mainly come from marine sources like fatty fish. Now, both are healthy, for sure, but they do very different things in your body.
And this is where it gets really interesting. It's what's known as the conversion problem. Your body can technically turn that plant-based ALA into the heavy hitters, EPA and DHA, but it is shockingly bad at it. We're talking less than 5% of the ALA you eat actually makes it through that conversion process. It's incredibly inefficient.
I love this analogy because it just hits the nail on the head. Relying only on plant sources for those critical EPA and DHA omega-3s is exactly like this. Sure, you've got some of the raw materials, but you just don't have enough to build the strong, healthy structures your body really needs.
So now that we know marine sources are where the real action is, let's dive into the science. What do EPA and DHA actually do for you? Let's look at the hard evidence for your heart, your muscles, and your brain.
You know, you'll hear dozens of claims out there about what omega-3s can do, but the strongest, most consistent scientific proof really points back to these three pillars. This is where we know marine omega-3s make a real, measurable difference.
Let's start with the heart, because wow, this number, 25%, is just staggering. And it doesn't come from some small study. This is from a massive, game-changing clinical trial called REDUCE-IT. They used a high-dose, super-purified form of EPA and saw this incredible reduction in things like heart attacks and strokes for high-risk people. That's serious.
Okay, and if you're an active person, if you go to the gym, you run, whatever, listen up. When you work out, you create inflammation. That's normal. But instead of just blocking pain like an aspirin, omega-3s help your body create these amazing molecules called resolvins, which actively resolve the inflammation. They are literally the cleanup crew that comes in so you can recover faster and feel less sore. And when it comes to your brain, this is so cool. DHA isn't just something that helps your brain work better. It's literally part of the hardware. It's a physical, structural part of your brain cells. Think about it like the quality of the electrical wiring in your house. The better the wiring, the faster and clearer the signals can travel.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. Because this whole omega-3 story isn't just about adding one nutrient. It's really about fixing a massive, fundamental imbalance in the modern diet.
So check this out. Our modern diets are just flooded with another type of fat called omega-6, mostly from vegetable oils and processed foods. And these tend to be pro-inflammatory. Ideally, that ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats in our diet should be around, say, 2-to-1. But for many of us today, it's more like 20-to-1. That is wildly out of whack.
This is the perfect way to picture it. There's a constant tug-of-war going on inside your body between pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory forces. And our modern diet has basically sent the entire football team over to the pro-inflammatory side of the rope. So when you add omega-3s, you're not just adding a nutrient. You are sending in some much-needed reinforcements for the good guys to help pull that rope back to the middle.
Okay, that's the science. Pretty compelling, right? So the big question is, what should you do with all this information? Let's break it down into a simple, actionable plan you can use to overhaul your own omega-3 intake.
It honestly comes down to these three simple things. First, try to get it from food. Second, make sure you're getting the right amount for your goals. And third, if you do use a supplement, please make sure it's a good one you can trust.
So, what's the right dose? Well, for just general health and wellness, most organizations suggest aiming for at least 500 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per day.
But if you're looking for those more targeted benefits we talked about, for your heart or for helping with athletic recovery, the science really points toward a higher dose, somewhere in that 1,000 to 2,000 milligram range.
But what if you don't eat fish? No problem at all. There is a brilliant solution. Here's the secret. Fish don't magically make their own omega-3s. They get them from eating algae. So you can just cut out the middle fish and go straight to the source with an algae oil supplement. It's clean, it's sustainable, and it gives you that powerful EPA and DHA you need.
Now, if you do decide to go the supplement route, and this might be the most important takeaway here, please prioritize quality. The supplement industry can be a bit of a wild west, so don't just grab the biggest, cheapest bottle. Look for brands that do third-party testing for purity and potency. That's your proof that what's on the label is actually what's in the bottle.
And that's our deep dive into the science of omega-3s. We think nothing of spending time and money to overhaul our tech, to maintain our cars, so we'll just leave you with this final thought. Isn't it time you considered that same kind of essential overhaul for your own body?